Alright, so I have, as you can see, the sway bar is reattached. So I've resolved all the bolt issues. So this one right here, the one that broke through the wall, what I did was, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, but I just welded the nut to the actual body of the car, and then I just sprayed this with paint to you know, slow down the rust. So on this side, I don't know if you can see that, I had to actually, this was the other bolt that broke. I had to actually cut this hole into the body because, in the frame, because the washer, there's a washer that goes around here. It's like, it like goes around this, and it stops it from spinning. It's like a nut washer. But that broke, so it was spinning in there. And then the bolt was also seized in the nut, so I couldn't get it out, so I just cut it, and then I just cut this hole, picked out the rest of it, and then I put a new nut and bolt on that. And when this is all said and done, I'll come back here and I'll weld the plate on here and weld it up real nice and make it look real nice. But for now, I just want to get this job done. So yeah, so that's what I did. So now I fitted the sway bar on, everything works, everything's fine, all the bolts are tightening. So now we can take that fuel pump out. I forgot to mention that when I was doing the welding and stuff, I brought this fuel tank upstairs and completely out of the room, and I got rid of all the gas out of the room too, just to be on the safe side. Alright, so this is the tool that we need to open up the fuel tank. It's a special tool. Now I'm sure you can, you know, use a strap wrench or something like that, but like I said before, this was only $12 on eBay, and I figured, you know, what the hell. So the part number, if you want to look it up on eBay, it's right there. So the way this works is there are little notches around the big nut, you know, closing up the fuel tank, and these guys right here have these little square recesses to go into them. Now if you are handy with metal, have a milling machine, you can actually make these. These are actually would be very easy to make. But you know, like I said, $12, you know, so whatever. So okay, so these just go on like this, you screw them on. So the idea is we're going to put it over the tank. These notches will go into the grooves on the nut, and then you take this guy and you put your wrench in there and you turn it. And now the good thing about this is you can, you know, torque it to spec, which a lot of guys who comment on my videos love torquing everything to spec, no matter how small. But I'm going to torque this to spec just because I can. Alright, let's go to the tank. Alright, so we have to remove the electrical connectors and the lines and everything. So here's a piece of tape. I think this is here because the person before me wanted just to hold this in place. So that's my guess. So let's take the tape off. And then here's another one of those connectors where you just have to push in these tabs and then pull off the line. There we go. Alright, there's the line. Just pull that out of the way. And then we have an electrical connector right here. Take out this little pin, or little keeper here. Take that out. Okay. There we go. Alright, so I have my tool set to where these lugs are on this thing. So let's go. So let's just. There it is. There it is. Interesting tool, I know. So now that that's out, we should be able to take this pump out. Now when you just gonna lift it out straight, grab the O-ring. Now when you get to the bottom, watch for the little lever. Gotta figure out which way it's turning. There we go. See that? This lever is how your fuel gauge works. Now there might be some gas in here, so be careful. Yep. Alright, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so we got the new fuel pump in. But first we have to put the new O-ring on. Just seats just like this. There we go. Alright, so the new pump assembly, it looks a little bit different. The old one had the fuel filter assembly right here, and it just looked a little different. This is a different design, but it'll work just the same. So on the bottom, there's a little notch here, and that notch has to go into, the notches on the bottom, there's two actually, have to go into these notches here. So you can only really put it in one way when you're doing it right. So if one notch is there, the other one is there. So we're gonna put the little lever in, and then make sure the notch is aligned on both sides. Now you shouldn't be able to turn it because of the notches. And now we're going to put the big nut on. Okay, so now we're going to use our special tool again, and we're going to torque this down. Alright, so we're torquing this down to 40.5 foot-pounds. There we go. So if you tighten this too much, then you'll actually get a leak here, and you might get a check engine light. Alright, so you have to remove this little locking mechanism from the other one. I just used a pick to get under these tabs and pry them open. So now this should just easily slide onto that, and now this should just easily slide onto this. There we go. So now that's secure. We're going to put that on. So there's a remaining wire here that doesn't connect to anything. This is an Airtex pump, and so I called Airtex and asked them, and they said that you don't need to worry about this. You could just leave it hanging. Everything is grounded. I'm guessing everything is grounded just through this plug right here. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna leave it hanging. Seems kind of weird, but that's what we're doing. So now we can put this back in the car. Alright, so we're gonna remove this strap because I got new straps because these are in pretty rough shape. So let's see if that comes out. It's pretty rusty. Came right out. Good. Didn't need any more mishaps for today. Alright, so sorry I didn't show this, but I put the tank was empty, right? So I put it on a jack. It was pretty light, and just lifted it up into place. And then I put the strap on with the exhaust shields and everything on the front. I'll show you the front in a second. So now we're just tightening these bolts. So here's the other one. You can see that the exhaust shield goes under. There's also part of the evap system also goes through on this bolt. So there's 3 things that this bolt holds in. Alright, that's one side. Alright, with that one side on, we should be able to lower this. There we go. I'm gonna put the other strap on. I'm gonna do it off camera because it's just putting laying the strap down and putting the 2 bolts in. So I'm gonna do that off camera. Alrighty, both straps are on. Make sure when you're tightening them to tighten them evenly on both sides. Just like everything, don't tighten one all the way. Just go back and forth. So now we just need to connect everything and then we're good to go. Alright, so we need to remove these bags that I put on to protect the lines from getting all crap in them. Let's see here. Come on. There we go. So, this guy goes right here. Just slide them on. Can you see that? Yeah. So this guy goes right there. This fuel line just snaps onto the little connector. You just gotta push it in. And then this guy goes right there. Alright. There's that. Alrighty. So now we need we're gonna put our sway bar back in. So you want to get this side over the exhaust. Oh man, that was tricky. I had to go in at a way crazy angle. Alright, so now let's keep this all set up here. Make sure these bushings are facing the right way. I'm just gonna hang it on the links on either side. Alright. So now I just gotta put all the bolts on. Alright, so we got these 2 bolts here. Now that my crazy bolt situation is resolved, these should thread in nicely and not spin. Okay, and then we got sway bar link right here. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, off camera. Alright, so I got some new hose clamps. Let's take off, oops. Sorry guys. Alright, I got new hose clamps. Just going to take out the stuff I put in this in the pipe here. Damn it. We're going to put the filler neck back on the tank. I think what I'm going to do is get some silicone spray. Get some silicone spray here. Just see if we can slip that on there. Probably a good idea to put the hose clamps on first. There. And then we gotta, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm gonna put the evap line here. Spray on that so it goes in easier. There we go. So now we can tighten these hose clamps up. Alright. Alright, so now we have to, and this is the last part, it's just put this filler neck back on. There we go. Alright, so I think the last bit is to just put the seat back in. Slide her back on. There. Alright, she's in. Alright, I put the wheels back on, lowered the car, and plugged the battery in. So now I need to work on transferring this gas into that container and then into the car. I think I'm only going to do 5 gallons because that's enough for now. So I'll get back to you once I'm done doing that. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, thumbs up. Like my Facebook page, links in the description. Oh man. See you later, thanks for watching.